For the months of July and October, It's Consulting Time and ID 104 Radio will be honoring public relations professionals. Public relations professionals have been around for quite a while, but let's talk a little bit about the history of public relations. So some years ago, Rockefeller had some issues and he needed to repair his image. So he hired someone named Ivy Lee, who later became known as Poison Ivy Lee, because he discovered he could shape facts to tell whatever he wanted to say and people would believe him. Why? Because facts are malleable and can be interpreted. Now, fast forward to 1988, the Public Relations Society of America defined PR. And in their definition of PR, they said that public relations helps an organization and its publics adapt mutually to each other. Okay, so the technical definition of public relations is a management function which evaluates public attitudes and identifies the policies and procedures of an organization with the public interest, and executes a program of action and communication to earn public understanding and acceptance. I think the most important piece there is that public relations is a management function, right? And it incorporates public attitudes, but only for organizations that actually have a public interest. That's interesting also. And then we have publicity. And so publicity is the generation of news about a person. Generally, it's short term, and it's a subset of public relations. It's not always positive and often originates outside of the firm. Well, as we're honoring the public relations professionals who have been selected, we're going to talk a lot about the main functions of public relations. And so you're going to learn about writing and editing, media relations, special events, research, community and consumer relations, and government relations and lobbying. So stay tuned as we honor some of your public relations professionals. As you know, we are spending every Thursday in the month of July and October honoring public relations professionals. Now, let's just go back and make sure that you remember. Public relations is a management function which evaluates public attitudes and identifies the policies and procedures of an organization with the public interest, and executes a program of action and communication to earn public understanding and acceptance. Totally different from publicity. And today, we are honoring a public relations professional by the name of Miss Kelli Webb. Now, Kelli is a Chicago native, okay? She is a true entrepreneur. She's humble. She embraces every single opportunity that is granted to her within reason, we're going to say. She is a mentor and advisor to others, as people have been to her. And so for that reason, we introduce to you Miss Kelli Webb. Hi, Kelli.
Hey.
So Kelli, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be honored by It's Consulting Time and ID 104 Radio. We definitely thank you for always embracing us. And so the least we could do is feature you and honor you this week. So Kelli, tell us a little bit about yourself as a person, and then we're going to dive right into you as a public relations professional.
Well, I first want to say thank you for honoring me. This is something unexpected and definitely appreciated. But a little bit about me. Like you said, I am a Chicago native. I currently live in Atlanta, mom of two amazing girls. literally, yes, an entrepreneur. So I do a lot and I love it. So yeah.
Okay, so since we're talking about the world of public relations today,
Mhm.
can you define public relations in Kelli Webb's terms?
Oh, so I kind of like to just keep it simple. Even though public relations has a major definition to it, but for me, it's literally making sure that my client's image and brand and exposure is done properly, is put in the proper positions that it needs to be put into. And as I like to say, I just like to make everything kind of look pretty. So
Absolutely.
that's probably the best way that I would say in short what public relations is without diving into the true deep definition of it.
Okay, okay. Now, how did you stumble upon the field of public relations?
Oh, now see, that's a whole nother thing. um, honestly, I was first introduced to the aspects of public relations in 2005 when I worked for Legion Records. The CEO, I was his right hand, or I guess that's the best way to put it, his personal assistant, and he kind of introduced me to every aspect of public relations, management, booking, etc. I kind of just fell in love with it, and then I left it alone, and then I came back and said, let's do it again. So, but that's exactly how I was introduced to it, literally as a personal assistant to a major label.
Wow. It's interesting how we're working in a specific capacity and you really don't think about how other positions kind of funnel into it because public relations, we know is a part of the marketing mix, but we don't think about how complex, public relations is because we look at it in its capacity of what we see in the entertainment industry and things of that nature. And it spills over into so many different areas. So definitely amazed and interested in knowing more about kind of how you transition from simply working as a PA with a label and then opening your own business. Like, what was your first objective when you founded your business?
Well, the funny thing is actually a lot of people kind of get that confused. So public relations and marketing are actually two different worlds. You can, marketing is more so focused on the vision of the brand, making sure that strategy is put together. And public relations, we more focus on the image as far as in the public eye. We work together hand in hand. And yes, of course, publicists can do marketing. They can do marketing, branding, and the strategy of it, of course. But a lot of times, some publicists only want to stick with the public relations aspect. And then we'll have a marketing company or firm that will handle that aspect. I know both, yes, but I don't focus on both. So yeah, definitely with that part. Now, how did I transition from working with them to Open and Diamond Enterprises?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I don't even know.
Well, what was okay? So
I think it just kind of happened. I focused on what I love doing, and when it came back up, that really just kind of fell into my lap. And I was like, hey, it was actually working an event. And they asked me to do the public relations for the event as well as the event management of it. And it was actually for a barber's expo. So it was my first major client, and the expo was holding about 4,500 people. So that is what brought me back full throttle. And doing that, I was like, I did it before, let's do it again, but this time I'm gonna do it under my name. And
yes.
That really is what introduced it. Right before that, I was actually managing some artists,
Okay.
and just kind of said, let me just stay over here. So that's
Understood.
how it happened.
So, we know that public relation, provides image building, like generation, credibility, especially when we look at I always say people think about the term publicist, but we don't think about chief information officers in governmental agencies. Those are publicists of the most interesting kind, because often in those capacities, we have stressful jobs, especially if you're a White House correspondent or a senior advisor there. But anyways.
Listen, sometimes you literally just have to figure out how to get things to, I'm so sorry. I thought I put that on your stuff. But sometimes you have to figure out how to find that balance. I salute everybody that works in that capacity in the PR arena, because I'm not doing that. They're literally on 24-hour call. They have to have, crisis management in place and on point and ready to pull the trigger at any point in time. Yes, so anybody in the White House that is in the public relations field or just the communications field in general, go ahead.
No room for error. Everything is scrutinized.
Everything.
But let's talk about that. Image building, credibility. Publicists are attacked a lot. And I think that is why it was so important to take a couple of months out of the year to honor you guys. What would you say are some of the tensions between public relations and the press?
I think the number one would be the respect aspect of it. A lot of times, because we are put in a crunch, to make sure our client is placed properly, to make sure that everything is on your timeline. Like, our agenda is so strategically put together that we want to make sure everything falls how it needs to fall. When it comes to, being a publicist and, dealing with media, and thankful for that, I'm on both sides. So I am a journalist as well. But, a lot of times you forget because you're in such a hurry. You need to make sure things get out. You're pitching like crazy to everybody. You don't really put into account that, hey, they're not on your schedule. You're asking them to do something for you and your client, not that they work for you, but they're helping you. So I think that number one thing is that kind of falls to where you have issues is number one, that respect factor. And then everything else kind of falls after that, especially when it comes to, we have to understand that you have a timeline and you have to follow your timeline just as we have to follow ours. So that would be one.
So guys, those of you that are just checking in, we are honoring Miss Kelli Webb this evening. And, Kelli is a public relations professional. And I think that it's important that we highlight public relations professional because that means a lot. In my world, there's a distinct difference between someone who is a publicist and someone who is a public relations professional. This is not what the publicist is saying. This is just in my world. Because by day in corporate America, we work with a lot of public relations professionals, as Ms. Kelli stated, in different entities. So in corporate America, public relations professionals are generally your VPs of strategy and development, your VPs of engagement and member relations or consumer relations, your VPs of corporate social responsibility. And so they're held to a high standard. Well, guess what? There are public relations professionals such as Miss Kelli Webb who hold themselves to this standard. And that is why we salute you for that. Now, here comes the integration. Here comes the integration. Kelli.
Yes, ma'am.
What would you define as your social responsibility as a public relations professional?
Making my clients, or allowing my clients to see the true benefit of what they're doing. And what I mean by that is I have some amazing clients, and my biggest goal is to see the smile on their face, especially for those that have never actually experienced I guess you could say, like the imagery of their brands, seeing their articles. I think that is one thing that truly makes my day, is when I have a client that receives their very first article ever. That right there is a highlight, and it's a motivation for me to keep going. But honestly, I could say literally seeing my clients see that their efforts are appreciated, and they're seen, and they're growing. There's really nothing more. That's what it is. That's just the truth for it. So long as I see that my clients are happy, and it's not just, okay, I'm happy because you're doing this, but it's like, oh my God, like this is really happening.
Indeed.
That right there is.
Got it. So Kelli, you're writing a book about yourself. What do you name it?
Lord, faithful and determined.
Ooh, you just took me back. Oh my goodness. Faithful and determined?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, that would be it.
Faithful and determined. Guys, in the field of public relations, you have to be faithful and determined, honey, because it gets
That's
real.
No lie.
It gets real. And that is why we salute you. We honor you. We are so thankful to have you in a field that can be up and can be down. But we love the love that you have for what you do and your why. Now, for the people that are interested in public relations, because they see the perks of being a PR professional, what are some of the tools that are required in public relations?
Oh, a lot of prayer. A lot a lot of prayer. And that's being very honest. But I would honestly say that consistently being willing to study.
Okay.
And always understand, and always keep in the back of your mind that everything changes consistently in this field. I mean, I'm still studying, and I've been doing this for a while, but things are consistently changing. Don't be afraid to go to somebody and ask them how to do something. Don't ever think that you're no longer a student. Demand your respect, and don't bow down from that. Don't settle from it. And prayer, a lot of prayer.
Listen, you know what? Look, I'm just like this. I'm like this.
And patience.
Oh my.
You have to have patience.
Whew,
you know, don't think,
that's hard.
just like your clients, don't feel like it's going to happen overnight, especially coming into the industry. You're not going to hit those top A-list clients and expect for it to stay that way. And even when you do, you have to understand everything that goes along with it. This job is not about glitz and glam. This job is literally about your clients. It's not about you.
Wait a minute. Okay, hold up. Clearly, you're not saying that this job is not to fulfill the void of the lack of popularity that we didn't get when we were kids or in high school. Is that what you're saying? Because I'm confused. Because
that's a good way to say it.
Well, because I personally, honestly, let's just be real. Before really studying what public relations actually is, I put publicists and law enforcement in the same box.
Oh,
And I'm gonna tell you why.
Please do.
When I went back to my hometown after grad school, and I started to look at how the police force changed, I noticed that a lot of our law enforcement officers were a lot of kids who were not popular in school, who got picked on and got bullied. So they got into a position of authority so that they could feel superior and also act on some of the things that they could have never acted on back in the day. And as I've come out here and start working with a lot of our publicists, and I did not say PR professionals, sometimes I'm finding the same behaviors. And it's scary. So when you say that it's about the client and not about you, I just wonder how many people actually feel that way.
That's a good question.
And I know you can't answer that, but I just thought if I was going to put you in that box, I had to kind of spread it out for you and explain. But I've always said that. I've always looked at certain, even down to sometimes with our politicians. Some of our politicians are definitely followers and not leaders, but we put them in a category of leadership.
Right.
Yes.
This is true. This is so very true.
But but this is why we're honoring PR professionals, publicists, not PRs. And so stop calling them PRs.
Please.
And if you call yourself a PR, I'm not going to believe you're a publicist. I'm just saying.
Definitely. I feel like a lot of times people assume because we put PR, like PR professionals, that they feel that that's what we are. No, just to set the record straight, PR, public relations, is what we do. That's not who we are. We are publicists, or you can consider us as public relations professionals. But I am not a PR. What I do is public relations. What I do is PR.
Okay, so let's honor our public relations professionals, and we're gonna honor this young lady today. Kelli Webb, you are amazing. Please let everybody know how they can reach out to you if they're interested in becoming a client or if they need mentorship.
Okay, so you can reach me literally on all social media outlets: Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, at Diamond, which is DYAMONDENTPR, Diamond Enterprises. Or you can send me a message to I am K Webb on all social media outlets, and I can direct you to which way you need to go.
Well, guys, you heard it from Miss Kelli Webb, and she's amazing. Please outreach her if you have questions, and make sure that you're always checking on our publicists, not just because you want something. Just check on them.
One more thing. For those that are looking for a publicist, please make sure that you actually have something for us to work with. A lot of times people aren't sure when they need a publicist. I am one to let you know I'm very open and honest. I'm not about to just take your money, just take your money. But having a brand, having a story, because that's how we move you to that next level. And the other thing, please make sure you have the PR, public relations budget to move forward. Those are very important.
Amen. Amen. Because it's not free. It costs. Let me just say it like that. I love how delicate you put it, but we're going to tell you it's not free. Public relations services cost money. Public relations professionals in the corporate realm get paid big bucks. So please understand, it is stressful. You do not get benefits when you work for yourself. Please pay them so that when y'all get in migraines, they can go to the neurologist and get the medication. Now, check on our public relations professionals. They are not always okay.
We are not always okay.
But you know what? Y'all wear it so well. And once again, Kelli, that's why we're honoring public relations professionals, because, you know, public relations in this day and time is a very dangerous job. Now, let's just be real. It is dangerous because you never know when that client could flip the switch, or someone else associated with that client, or a op. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to really be careful, especially when you're working with some of the more prominent clients.
This is true.
So, you know, guys, please, please, please check on our public relations professionals. Reach out to Miss Kelli Webb if you have questions, you know, or concerns, or if you just want to understand public relations and know a little bit more. She is very approachable, and she will definitely give you the information that you need. So, Miss Kelli, we salute you and thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you.
All righty, guys. Until next time, which is next Thursday, we'll be honoring another humble, beautiful PR professional. Have a great evening.